All right, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Francis and Friends by way of the Chat Room Podcast. Shout out to everyone over there, Senator, Mayor, all my guys. Shook, happy belated birthday, all that. On today, we got another episode, another good one today. We got Kris Joseph today joining us. How are you, brother?
Good, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you reaching out. And anytime I get a chance to come on here and just spread, whether it's spread knowledge, tell my story, help inspire the youth, man, I'm always for it. So I appreciate you reaching out.
Appreciate, yeah, man. We'll get into it, but you're definitely a legend. So we're definitely gonna get into
Appreciate
it.
that.
Yeah. But kind of just jumping into it real quick. Like, have you been following NBA ball?
Oh yeah, no question. No question.
What has been something that's been like the most, I don't want to say shocking, but the most like surprising thing so far with like, well, we're one round in right now. So what's been the most surprising thing so far for you?
But I'd say, man, after round one was the Nets getting swept. And I think I'm far from the only one that was surprised by that. Honestly, I had the Celtics winning.
Mhm.
I had them maybe going to 6 or 7 games, honestly, but they came with a game plan. They stuck to it. And that's the thing with those guys. Already, you look at the team, they're a pretty good team defensively. You got guys on the wing who can defend. Their interior is solid with Williams and with Horford, you know what I mean? So, and then you got Marcus Smart, who's a dog up there, just, causing havoc for everybody. You know what I mean? So their game plan, as you can see, it was simple. Let anybody else on the Nets beat us besides KD and Kyrie. You know what I mean? So it was good to see them go out there with that plan and execute it and make it a living hell for guys like KD. We never seen KD shoot that bad over a stretch of 4 games ever, maybe, So
it's crazy because at some point it even looked like he didn't even, I don't want to say he didn't want to shoot because KD's a killer. So I didn't want to say he didn't want to shoot, but like there's times where like you got 2-3 bodies on you. He's just making the right basketball play,
Yeah. So it's almost like he was like, you know what? Let me just not even get the ball this possession. Like he needed, a break damn near. It's tough to be able to scoring 2-3 guys every time.
And like every possession he had Tatum on him, or he had Brown on him, or he had Marcus Smart pick him up and pesky. Like he had a different body on him, and he never like. The internet was making it seem like, oh, Tatum shut him down, whatever, but he never saw one body,
At all.
It was always multiple guys at him. I will say, I was kind of disappointed in the way how Nash utilized his bigs, because I thought LaMarcus Aldridge, I thought even Blake Griffin at the time he got, I thought those guys could have been factors that could have helped.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Rebounding and stuff like that, but that was one.
Yeah, you see Blake came in and made it. I want impact. Defensively, hit threes, rebound. He's playing hard. So I'm not sure what the thought process was behind him not getting no time at all, or LaMarcus not getting no time. Because I know for a fact they could have came in and helped. And the thing with the Nets is early on in the year, I remember it was said that Blake wasn't going to play at all. Like he was out the rotation. Then some injuries happened, and he was in the rotation. So that's a testament to his professionalism, just staying ready when his number was called.
Yeah, that's like I was one of those guys who like I always feel that the best players in the playoffs will find a way to win. So I was one of those guys who Boston was a better team. I think they're a better coach, but I felt that KD and Kyrie would have found a way to will those guys to the win. I didn't think they would have moved on to the second round because I thought Bucks. I think Bucks are the best team in the East still, but I thought for sure they would have been together the first round. Another surprise for me was actually Dallas, like the way how Dallas kind of competed without Luka being there.
Yeah, shout out to Jalen Brunson. I didn't know he was like that.
He came out, had the 40 piece. Like they're doing. They did. Luka didn't play 3 games, and I think Tim Hardaway Jr. is still not there.
Yeah, still not there.
So like, and like, mind you, Utah that doesn't have Inglis, who's like a big loss for them.
Yeah.
So like that's something as well, but
they still have enough. They still got Clarkson off the bench. They still Bogdanovich. They have some bodies, and that's another story. I'm not sure what it is about the Jazz that just can't get over the hump year after year. And you think about Conley, who's a very, very good point guard, very solid. You got your elite scorer on the wing, and then you got an inside presence, especially defensively, your defensive anchor in Gobert, but they still have, they struggle, man. And I wonder, that's a big question mark for me, what's going to happen this offseason for them.
I think the biggest thing that I see, and that like you read in the media and stuff, but like your two best players don't have to be best friends.
Yeah.
They don't have to be best friends, but like there has to be some level of like, we'll do this together kind of thing, like
Kobe, no doubt.
Kobe and Shaq weren't best friends, like they
right.
Shaq talks all the time. They weren't best friends, but at the end of the day, they respect each other to know that this guy's gonna handle his business, and I'm gonna handle my business. And I think I don't know what it is between them, but like you can clearly see that like they're just not on the same page, and when when your leaders are not on the same page, it's tough to kind of follow with that, So like,
oh yeah, no doubt.
So like, I'm not sure what they're going to do off season, but like, they got to do something, because this is 3 years in a row where they've lost series where they probably shouldn't have lost. Like, I don't know, like the Tim Hardaway thing, him being gone is huge, but like when you don't have Luka for 3 games and you go and you end up being down 2-1 in
2-1, yeah,
those 3 games that Luka's not playing, like, I don't know, man. That's
they gotta do something. No question.
I'm not sure if it's a coach or what it is, but they gotta do something.
There's some changes going to be made, 100%. And then I don't, I'm a Lakers fan, so it hurt me to see them guys go through what they went through. No matter who's on the Lakers, every year I root for the Lakers to win. That's out after the Bulls, it was the Lakers when Kobe came in. That's what I was introduced to basketball. You know what I mean? But to see them go through what they were going through this year, the injuries, but not even sub 500, that was crazy to see.
And you got like the hardest thing for me was you got Braun playing at MVP level, and it still wasn't enough.
Wasn't enough.
That's the thing that kind of messed with me. I'm like, all right, if Braun was playing subpar, and AD was hurt, and Westbrook I don't know what it was. He was in his own way this year, but if all those things were going on, then I could say, you know what, it's just one of those things where like we're just not built good enough, But Braun, like if Lakers were a 7th or 6th, I think Braun would have got MVP. Just his numbers and like what he was doing. Like he dropped a 61-point game this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was on a different level this year, and it still wasn't enough. And he played almost 70% of the games this year. So it's not like he only played like 50% of the games.
Exactly.
He was in a lot of games.
No, he was out there. He was trying to will them, will them to victory. And you think, guys get hurt, guys not healthy, but Braun was out there and he did what he was supposed to do, man. Gotta respect it.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, let's just transition a little bit. We'll kind of jump into your story a little bit. Canadian kid growing up in Montreal. What were some of your like earliest influences and introductions to the game of basketball?
My brother, Maurice Joseph, now assistant coach at Richmond University in the A10, fresh off of NCAA appearance and all that. So shout out to him. But as a young kid, being the younger brother, just hanging on his coattail, being annoying, following him to the court, wherever he was going. I just, whether it was me going or my mom forcing me to go out or forcing him to take me with him, you know what I mean? That's what it was. And, we found ourselves playing on trash cans and schoolyards, and because we had no hoops up, going and sneaking into people's backyards and playing on their hoops till they came out and said, like, who you kids? Like, get out of here. You know what I mean? So some people were nice enough to let us keep hooping, you know what I mean? But so earliest, like I was about, I guess probably like between 6 and 7 years. I'd say probably 6, 7 years old. And then it was my brother, man. Like he's the one, like NBA on NBC. He put me onto the Bulls. So I remember vividly watching the Jazz and the Bulls series finals. Then in comes Kobe, you know what I mean? So he's the one that put me onto the game and the one who I give the most credit to when it comes to, getting as far as I did, because I had the blueprint right in front of me. So growing up in Montreal, especially, like any other inner city, it has its pros and cons.
Yep.
And like I said, I had the blueprint right in front of me in the same room. We shared the same room, bunk beds, all that. So him being able to do what he did in Montreal, playing at Champlain, then going to Michigan State, Vermont. Like I seen these things, so I knew that it was real. Like it was right in front of me. So I couldn't make excuses. You know what I mean? So growing up in Montreal had its difficulties. You know what I mean? But because of him, I was able to
find a way.
Straight and narrow, and just find a way.
Dope. So like, you went from Montreal, and then you ended up in Washington at Archbishop.
Yes, Archbishop Carroll. So I was playing in Montreal, and around the age of 15, man, I probably was like 6'4" or so, 6'3", 6'4", had a good skill set. And I just felt like, damn, I need to get out of Montreal. This one I was 14, 15 years old. And I remember telling my mom, like, Mommy, like, I'm trying to get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, I can't stay in Montreal. There's influences that, are outside of basketball that, are out there, and, peer pressures or whatever it was. But also, like, the biggest thing was I felt like I wasn't going to excel on the basketball court playing against the competition I was playing against. Yeah. Granted, we had a few guys from my era go play D1 ball, but overall, it just wasn't like a Toronto or somewhere else where basketball is really the focal point. You know what I mean? So at the age of 15, I told my mom I want to leave. There was a guy by the name of Henry Wong who we used to work out with, who had connections with a lot of these like prep schools in the States, because he used to coach like a travel team and a city team, and made his connections, And he told me one summer, so the summer before I actually left to go to DC, he was saying like, maybe I can make a call for you. I'm like, please do. I need to get out of here. And he made that call. I had to go on a visit. So 16 years old. And, they basically want me to go play summer league with the team, just a couple games, probably a weekend. They got to see what's going on, because they were going to offer me a scholarship to go there for 2 years. And they don't have no film on me. They're going all off of word of mouth. You know what I mean? Crazy. So I had to go there and really show and prove, like, listen, I deserve this scholarship you guys are going to give, because I went to it was a private Catholic school. Tuition was crazy. You know what I mean? So I had to go there and really make some noise in those 2 summer league games. And by that time I was 6'6", probably 6'7", like I am today. And they're thinking I'm a big man, but I'm like, nah, like I play on the wing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So my influences were, Paul Pierce, T-Mac, Vince Carter, Carmelo, of course. You know what I mean? So I kind of had a gumbo pot, like just take bits and pieces from everybody and include it into my own little game that I had already. So, they liked what they saw. And they told me that, yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? Like definitely, yeah. I'll see you in the fall. You know what I mean? And then, and at that time, I'm thinking, I'm so happy to finally get out of Montreal, but I'm not thinking about it at the time. Like, me leaving literally means me leaving. I'm not going for a tournament and coming back. I'm gone. I have to do 2 years in DC, but we have to take it 1 year at a time. Right. So that was tough, leaving the crib at 16 years old, leaving my mom, my friends, brothers, sisters, whatever it was, I look at my nephews now, about to turn 15. Some of them just got past 16. I'm like, yo, you guys are babies. You know what I mean? So shout out to my mom for really, trusting me and trusting my vision. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, and saying, okay, if this is what you want to do, then go ahead and do it. But basically, you better not come back home. If you're going to do this, like, do it right. You know what I mean? Yeah. And yeah, it was tough, man, but I knew I was on a mission. Literally, I was like, I got to go here, get my scholarships, go D1. Like, I had a vision, and I just really did everything in my power to make that dream reality. Like, it sounds cliche, but this was really every day. Like, I used to wake up and be like, I got to make this happen, because I'm not going back to Montreal. I'm not going to CJEP, CIS. Like, I didn't want to do that at all. Nothing against the CJEP and CIS guys, but I just knew that I didn't want that for myself. So
So
yeah. So
kind of going forward, like you kind of mentioned it, but like you're there playing at Carroll, and then like your recruitment process end up going.
yeah.
You end up getting a full ride to Syracuse. Talk to me about like how that process went from playing at Carroll, and
Yeah.
then your recruitment, like the first time you kind of met Jim Boeheim, the legend,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then going to
Yeah.
Syracuse and all that stuff.
So I get to DC and I'm a junior. So I get to DC. So I have 2 years left. My first, I think, so there was a summer league and then there's like a league still going on, like right before, like probably like it's called the Kinner League. It plays at Georgetown.
Okay.
So now we're playing in the Kinner League right before school starts. And I'm going crazy. You know what I mean? Like, cause I'm still out here just trying to prove myself, prove to my teammates, cause you know what it is, a Canadian going to America back then was not really, it wasn't really like, they're like, who's this Canadian? You live in an igloo, like who's this? What? There's Black people in Canada. I didn't know. So like, I want to say, like I started a real pipeline, like even through Montreal specifically, because I had kids from Montreal going to Carroll like crazy, but even like the Corey and Tristan Kabongo going to, St. Pat and all those going to Jersey, going to Texas, Vegas to play, all those places, man. So anyway, my first taste at recruitment and seeing how it goes is all of a sudden after the Kenner League, I get a letter from Georgetown. I'm like, okay, that makes sense, I guess, because, we're playing right there. I'm in DC. So it's like, okay, they're showing some interest. Then Gonzaga literally came to the school. I'm like, how did Gonzaga hear about me? Like, but, between Gonzaga and Montreal, there was a little pipeline as well, because we had a guy named Pierre-Marie Altidore Cespedes who went from Montreal to Gonzaga.
Okay.
So they came, recruited me. And then boom, so it's Georgetown letter. Gonzaga came to visit. Next thing you know, I got West Virginia coming to practice, Pittsburgh, and now all the schools in DC. And things are getting crazy. Now I'm like, damn, this is, like the movies where you got the letters, full of letters, like interest letters, and you got the shoebox full, and you just sifting through them, seeing what all the schools that are recruiting you, and it's nuts because people don't really understand when I used to say, like, man, I'm from Montreal. Like, this doesn't happen every day out here. Yeah. Maybe for you guys are more accustomed to seeing that. Like, this is still fresh for me. Like, I remember seeing my brother receive letters at the crib in Montreal. Like, man, this is cool. Like, NC State and Virginia Tech. I'm like, damn, these schools really want my brother. Like, that's wild. I watch these guys on Tuesday nights, like ACC games and all that. Mm-hmm. So for me to be able to go and be living that myself and not just living, like looking at my brother like, this is crazy. I was living it. And so the letters kept coming, but Syracuse was my dream school, right? Clemson was actually the first school to offer me a scholarship. And they were like, we're the first team to offer you a scholarship. So you should probably commit to us, like almost put the pressure on me. Yeah. And I'm like, man, I know I'm new to this, but that don't sound right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That don't sound right. And so I called my brother up right away, like, hey, they're telling me that since they're the first ones to offer me a scholarship, I got to commit. He started bust out laughing, like, hell no. You know what I mean? Like, that's just something that they try to pull a fast one. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, because I felt bad. Like, I got to get back to you. But Syracuse was my dream school, because I love Melo, and I was following him since Oak Hill, and then I used to catch the Georgetown Syracuse games, and just seeing the dome, like, damn, like there's 30,000 people here, like, and I used to see arenas for sure, like hold 3,000, 4,000, which was huge. But I'm thinking, damn, imagine I could play in front of 30,000 people. You know what I mean? Like, that's next level. So Syracuse always been my dream school. Only thing I hated was the color. Like, orange was not a favorite color of mine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
so you finally got that letter to Syracuse. I guess I want to ask, like, once you got that Syracuse there, do you know you were going there, or like did you have like a top five? Did you take your visits? Like, what was that like?
Honestly, I didn't take no visits, man. Like, it's crazy how I even got put on to Syracuse. Well, I visited unofficial, all the schools. Okay. I went to Maryland. I went to Georgetown. I used to play pickup with those guys, Pat Ewing Jr., Jeff Green. I used to play pickup with them when I was in high school. I was still in high school. but like I wouldn't call those official visits. Like they didn't wine and dine me. It was just like, here's tickets to a game.
Yeah,
You know what I
okay.
mean? Like that vibe. And then the way Syracuse found out about me, right? Well, for one, I knew that I would like I said, I had my picks because I did well. We're playing in the WCAC, who has, we're playing against the Math of St. John's. So I'm playing against McDonald's All-Americans and like and young Victor Oladipo, young Quinn Cook, like young Josh Shelby, all these guys, like, you know what I mean? Some McDonald's All-Americans. And I was waiting on Syracuse. And the reason why Syracuse even contacted, and I told my high school coach, Mr. Perot, I'm like, man, look, listen, all these schools are cool, but like I'm waiting for Syracuse. So I know these schools are calling. I mean, don't straight up tell them that I'm waiting on Syracuse, but I want you to know, like, that's what I'm really waiting for. And I didn't put no thought. I didn't know I had to think about depth charts and who's still going to be there. Like I'm thinking in my head, I'm going to Syracuse and that's it. But so we play against a team named Bishop Ironton. And at the time, the assistant coach of that team, which I had no clue, was a Syracuse alum, former McDonald's All-American, went to Syracuse for 4 years, named Adrian Autry. Okay. And he's the assistant coach right there, right now, like the associate assistant or whatever it is, associate head coach. So I played Bishop Ironton. That game, I just so happened to, have a triple-double, right? So and it's crazy because he ended up coaching me at Syracuse my third year. So anyway, so he called the one who recruited me, Coach Rob Murphy, like, hey, Murph, I fit the Syracuse mold, 6'7", long arms, athletic. Yeah. They're thinking this fits the zone.
Yeah, y'all fit that
zone. Yeah. So he said, I fit the mold. So that's how Syracuse came on the radar, which is crazy that a Syracuse alum, it was just everything happened the way it was supposed to.
Yeah, crazy. That's crazy.
You never know. Right, so that's how Syracuse came on the radar, man. And then I knew, like, to answer your question, circling all the way back, I knew that when Syracuse called, that I was going there. You know what I mean? And if I have to transfer at some point, then I'll transfer. But I'm stepping foot on a Syracuse campus and putting on that gear because that's what I told myself at 13, 12, or whatever it was years old. You know what I mean?
That's dope. All right. So freshman year, you're at Syracuse. Y'all end up making a run all the way to the Sweet 16. Mm-hmm. Crazy run. You guys end up playing Oklahoma, Sweet 16, Blake Griffin and them.
Yeah, we played a young James Harden. I feel like in the first round, we played Arizona State, then we ended up losing to Blake Griffin. We played them in the second round, matter of fact, but we ended up losing the Sweet 16 to Blake Griffin and them. Crazy athlete, that guy right there, he was special.
Nuts, yeah, he nuts. So kind of talk to me about like that first year, your freshman year at Syracuse, like playing at the Carrier Dome.
Yeah,
being there with Jim Boeheim. I'm assuming that y'all had alumni coming to games.
Yeah, all that Derek Coleman, John Wallace, big time. So my first year, I knew that there was gonna be some time for playing time. Like there was gonna some room for playing time, but I knew we had guys like Paul Harris ahead of me, who he was really supposed to go out of high school, but they changed the rule. Okay. The year that he could have, been eligible to go out of high school. Out of high school, he was supposed to be a lock for like lottery pick. You know what I mean? But so we had him. We had guys like this guy named Christophe Ojanot. He was from Belgium, but they had guys in front of me. So I knew I had my work cut out for me. I knew Paul was going to take the bulk of the minutes at the three. Mm-hmm. But it's thanks to we had Johnny Flynn. You know what I mean? Like he was a dog. You know what I mean? Like, oh my goodness.
He was nuts, man.
Yeah. My goodness. So we had some guys there that I could learn from. And I knew that it was going to be, up and down year for me. Like some games, like I knew coach trusted me enough to throw me into rotation. Had like one time we lost Eric Devendorf for a couple of games. He was suspended a couple of games. One time Paul Harris was injured. I started against South Florida, I want to say. Early on in my freshman year, we played in a tournament again, and then we ended up playing Florida and Kansas in that tournament. And I played well against Florida. I had Dickie V calling me a diaper dandy and all that. Like, that's the stuff you dream about. Yeah, and I knew I was like, I'm like, damn, I'm a diaper dandy. Like, I'm not a diaper dandy, but if Dickie V stamps me, like, okay,
like Dick Vitale saying that, man. you made it. That's it.
Yeah, question. So that was cool. But then, but we went into the Big East play. Now we're playing UConn, Pittsburgh, Georgetown, what I'm saying, DePaul, Villanova, you know what I mean? Like it's the thick of the Big East. And I was getting some DMPs. I was getting, I don't want to say down on myself, but just trying to figure it out. Like, what could I do to play? And it was really nothing I could do. Like Coach Boeheim goes 76. That seventh guy is like, yeah. You know what I mean? So, if you're not within that rotation, that 6-7 man rotation, you're not playing too much minutes. I had to learn that. And then there was a point in time where I thought that maybe I should transfer. You know what I mean? Like maybe I could go, do this somewhere else. So that first year was tough. And at the end of that first year, we have our exit meetings, and Coach Boeheim had told me, he was like, straight up, he said, Kris, for you to be any good here, you're going to have to be able to run and shoot the ball. And right now, you're too fat for your position, and you're not shooting the ball well enough. You're shooting under 30% or whatever it was. You're not going to, you won't play here if this is what it's going to be. So I knew I could take that one or two ways: feel disrespected and pout and do whatever, or get to work. He's giving me the blueprint. He just told me, this is what I need to do to play. Yeah. All right, bet. So that summer, I know we're transitioning. You maybe want to ask me prior how the second year ended up going. Yeah, exactly. I'm going to go ahead and beat you to it.
That's fine.
I'm flowing. I'm rolling right now. So, so that summer between my freshman and my sophomore year, I ended that freshman year at like 235, 236. I came back sophomore year, 205, 206. You know what I mean? So I didn't go home that summer, put myself on a strict diet, hella cardio, just doing what I had to do. And I came back, and Coach Boeheim had no idea, because he's gone Team USA in the summer, all this stuff, right? And so basically, it's always someone that's vouching for me. So to get to Syracuse, the assistant coach from Bishop Arrington called Coach Murphy, and that's how I ended up getting on Syracuse radar. So now, in the summer between my freshman and sophomore year, Hakeem Warwick comes back to campus. Crazy. You know what I mean? And we're playing pickup at this gym, not even at we're playing pickup off campus, you know what I mean? But we're all there hooping. And at this point, like now, all summer in my head is Coach Boeheim told me I need to be able to run, be athletic, and shoot the ball. So when Hakeem Warwick came there, already that gives you an extra, like, damn, like this is the dude that blocked, game-winning block to win the 03 championship. You know what I mean? Like that was a huge play. Like this is Hakeem Warwick. So you get up for stuff like that. We play a pickup, but we're taking that serious. And man, let me tell you, I didn't miss too many shots. I had a couple crazy dunks. Like I'm just going, now I'm feeling myself. I'm slim, jumped him. I got a 42-inch vert now. Oh, it's going crazy. So he ends up telling Coach Boeheim, that, hey, outside of, between everybody that was playing, Kris Joseph looked the best out there. So now, of course, Coach Boeheim is going to be, and Coach Boeheim just really was like, really? Like surprised, like, because he hasn't been around. And so when he said that, it put something in Coach Boeheim's head, like, damn, okay, if Hakeem Warwick is saying that, it would be one thing if it was the coach who recruited me trying to vouch and try to push me, but this is someone who, an alum, a super alum, been there, and it's like Kris was the one out there looking the best, right? And this is all stories that I hear after the fact. But so going into the season, coach is gonna give me a fair chance. You know what I mean? I'm showing that I made the improvements or the adjustments that he wanted me to make. And I end up my sophomore year coming off the bench, which was expected because we had Wesley Johnson, we had Rick Jackson, we had Andy Routins and Renzi Onwuaku.
That year, or was Dion there?
The next year is when we got Dion. We had some dogs. All 4 of my years were really good, but so I ended up being a 6th man, and I flourished in that role. Ended up being 3rd on the team in scoring behind Wes and Andy. Got Big E 6th man of the year. Yeah. So that was big time for me, like being able to be one of the guys, like, you know what I mean? Like now I'm really feeling myself. Now I'm feeling like I'm in it. Like college basketball is really, before the game, the camera's focused on you, like little things that you see on TV. Like I was living again.
I feel like you definitely belong there,
Exactly. I belong. And always reverting back to, damn, I can't believe I'm here because I'm from Montreal. You know what I mean? Like it was always like every game was surreal.
All right, so that year you guys end up making it to Sweet 16 again, I believe. Yeah, Sweet 16 again. And you
The
guys
Sweet
play
16?
yeah, and you guys end up playing
Butler. We lost to
Butler with
Butler.
Gordon Hayward and what's the
Yeah.
guard's name? Shelvin Mack.
Shelvin Mack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shelvin Mack.
Yeah. So that year,
Crazy.
that year was tough because we lost our big man, Lorenzo Nwaku, in the Big East tournament against Georgetown. And if you know Lorenzo Nwaku, he was like leading the country in field goal percentage, probably like shooting 70-something%. Couldn't shoot free throws too well, but you get it down there, he's 6'9", 260.
Solid.
You know what I mean? It looks like the Hulk, damn near, no funny. And then like, so that was our guy, our anchor, you know what I mean? And when he went down, I had to start, you know, which I was coming off the bench, and any kid would love to start, but I was so used to that coming off the bench role, like it was a different vibe. We were starting, I think, like we were playing a freshman who wasn't ready at all to be playing. And that's my guy, you know what I'm saying, Deshaunte Riley, but he wasn't ready to be playing and
those games,
fill those shoes, you know what I mean? Like, now we're this postseason, like you haven't been, you had 20 DMPs, and now it's like, go ahead and play in the tournament. Come on, that's crazy. So that was tough, man. That was, I mean, between that team and my senior year team, like those were 2 times where I felt like we should have made national championship appearances. And both times our big men were the ones who, you know, weren't able to participate.
We'll definitely get to your senior year because
no doubt.
I was a big year, but the next year, you guys end up playing Marquette. Jimmy Butler, Jay Crowder, Junior Cadogan. Yeah. So like, talk about kind of that experience playing another kind of in the tournament, you know.
But that was always big. Yeah. That was always big. You know, I know Junior since we used to do junior nationals at Humber College in Toronto, and you know, I've known of him, and we always followed each other's careers closely.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So when he went to Marquette, I was happy for him, and all that. When he hurt his Achilles, you know, so we always were real close, and being able to play him, it was a mutual love. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to rip your head off at the same time. You know what I mean? So it's like, I want you to do well, but I don't want you to win. And that's how the feeling was mutually, you know. And that year we had a good year too. We had a good team. I believe that every year except I think we were number 1 in the country every year besides like my freshman year. But even then we were top 10 at some point. Yeah. But you know, we got Deion Waiters, CJ Fear, Baimu Cicada, Fab Mello came in.
CJ was tough. Holy shit.
Yes, yep, very sneaky lefty, sneaky bounce. We weren't supposed to lose that game. We kind of beat ourselves. There was a couple of controversial calls. There was a backcourt, you know what I mean? I gave up a 3 on the zone. They would say I gave it up, but I was just, you know, the rotation, you know what I mean? But losing to them. And the thing is why we have success in the tournament is because teams back then, now teams are a lot more equipped to play against the zone. But back then teams weren't seeing a zone like ours. And as much as you think you could scout for it, you can't.
That length is tough, man.
Yeah, it's hard to recreate that when you're doing it against your scout team and it's your walk-ons and you got 5'10" up top, 6'2" in the back. It's not what recreates the zone at all. But Marquette and Buzz, they know it. You know what I mean? And they were ready, and you know they put their best foot forward and they got us that game, man. So that was tough.
So yeah, next year you guys play Ohio State. So we'll kind of just jump right to it. Your senior year, you guys get all the way to Final Four. You guys end up playing another Canadian, Nick Stauskas, Tim Hardaway Jr.
No, that's not my year. That's the year after me.
Oh, you were there.
My year. No. So my senior year was that to Ohio State in the Elite Eight.
Okay, Ohio State.
So my senior year, and it was cool. So back being my junior and senior years, what was cool is now I'm the guy. I'm the focal point of a scout report. I led the team in scoring both those years. And again, reverting back to me being from Montreal and me being the star on an elite basketball program that's number 1 in the country. Like it's wild. But so our senior year, we have a really good team. And going into the postseason, God bless the dead, we lose our big man Fab Mello. right? So we lose him to some compliance, like plagiarism stuff or whatever the case is. That's like, dang, like he had already missed a few games during the year for that. Came back, they hit him with it again right before Big East tournament. You know what I mean? And that was like, damn, like that was a blow because he was Big East Defensive Player of the Year.
And then you got to go up against Jared Sullinger.
So if we have Jared Sullinger if we have him going against Jared in the middle, is different. We had Rakeem Christmas again, a not fully equipped freshman who was a McDonald's All-American, mind you. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what kids need to understand. Not because you're a McDonald's and you're this, that in high school, that's going to translate all the time to the collegiate level. Not every time, not everywhere you go, you're going to play just because. You know what I mean? There's some places and some coaches that really make you earn your keep and make you earn everything that you get. And that's what they got to understand. Like, there's nothing sweet about college basketball. If you're not ready, you're not ready. And Coach Boeheim is not on that. Like, if you're not ready, if you can't win in basketball games, you're not playing. So we play Ohio State. You know, the crazy thing is, you know, Jared, Fab, and I all get drafted to the Celtics, man. So that was crazy. You know, a lot of trash talking for the first few weeks. You know what I mean? Damn near didn't even, when I seen he got drafted and I got drafted to the same team, I'm like, damn, for real. I just lost to this dude 2 months ago in the tournament, and now I got played. So, you know, that was crazy. But yeah, no, another team where we were number one in the country, Scoop Jardine, Brandon Trish, myself, you know what I'm saying? Whoever, CJ, Fab Mello, Dion Waiters off the bench. Come on now.
Crazy.
You know, crazy year, but, you know, we fell short. Elite Eight, man.
All right, so you kind of touched on it, but the following year, you kind of get drafted. So, like, after your year is done and before the draft, like, what's your draft process like? Like, did you work out for a lot of teams? Were you traveling a lot? Like what was that like for you?
Man, it was crazy. So, graduation was in May. Like 2 days after graduation, got on a flight, packed as much as I could, and flew to Atlanta because my agent at the time was based out of Atlanta. So that's where I went to start my pre-draft workouts, right? Okay. So this is all still very, you know, new to me. It's dope. Like, I'm like, yo, this is really, like, I'm really doing a pre-draft. Like, I'm going somewhere to work out to prepare for, you know. So I go to Atlanta. I'm there for about a week, working out with this guy named Rodney Hurd. Not Rodney Hurd. Is it Rodney Hurd? His last name, we call him Hurd. I don't know his first name. I forget now. But he was the appointed workout guy for my agency at the time. Okay. So we're working out in Atlanta, Georgia Tech, wherever we could get run at, playing, pick up, you know, individual, like two workouts a day, plus weights and all that, just getting ready. You know what I mean? And then the way it works is like your agent is like, all right, you got workouts coming up. I can't remember who my first workout was, honestly. I thought I would never forget, you know, but I just know my last workout was Miami. I can't remember what my first one was, but it was but I worked out, if there's 30 teams in the league, I might have worked out for, had to be between 20 and 22 teams. That's crazy. That's you know, I had more scheduled, but throughout that process, I had like damn near, I was about to, like, it was, I don't know, it was a sports hernia was forming, like, so like I had to slow it down, and I was going through these workouts like that. You know what I mean? And I was still, you know, I was doing well, but the process is insane. You're flying from city to city, you know, forgetting what room you're on because last night you were in 502. Today you're on the 7th floor, but you're thinking you're still at the other spot. So everything is happening fast. Everything's happening fast. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, those workouts is real. Apparently it's very different now. Teams, you know, they want to see you shoot a little bit more, just see your skill work. Could you shoot the ball? You know, back then we were competing like 3-on-3 full court, 2-on-2, 1-on-1 full court. You know, like it would be drills. I seen this drill a lot where you're at the end of the workout, you know, basically 6 guys normally, 3-on-3 for the most part. And, you know, you got to get 5 stops before you can get out the workout. At the end of the workout, now you got to stop all 5 guys. It's coming full, like from half court, you stay at the 3, they're coming at you in transition. Gotta get 5 stops. It was crazy. Guys just fouling. It's crazy. Really going at it.
You're competing competing for a job, for opportunity.
Yeah, no question. And the things that you see, which I never knew was, not to say allowed, but I didn't think would happen, was you see guys start to pull out of workouts, right? So if I'm supposed to go match up against you, but you're supposed to be a top 15 pick, and now I'm anywhere between 25 in the first round and anywhere in the second, you don't want to work out against me because
lower your stock.
Exactly. You know what time it is. And guys knew from just knew from Syracuse, from whatever, certain guys, I won't say names, but a lot of guys dropped out of workouts. You know what I mean? They were ducking, man. They were ducking. But no, it's a hell of an experience. Obviously I was able to meet Pat Riley, super dope. That was my last workout. I had more scheduled, but I had to cut him. I had to stop because my sports little hernia, whatever that was going crazy. But I was able to meet Pat Riley. I was able to meet the GOAT. Now, when I say the GOAT, I'm sure we're on the same page when we say the GOAT is MJ, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. You're with me. Okay. That's where we're from. Yeah. All right. So, I was able to meet him when we worked out and when I worked out for Charlotte.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I remember my man Kemba was there still with them at the time. And Kemba, we knew each other from UConn, Syracuse. And it was just dope seeing so many guys. Like I seen Jimmy when I worked out for the Bulls. And obviously we knew each other from Syracuse, Marquette. Like, so just getting that love from them guys and like, them telling me little things like, you'll be straight. Like, you know what I mean? It was really cool, really dope experience. 20 to 22 teams, city to city, room service everywhere. You know what I mean? Just grinding, leaving. Like it's crazy because, you might be on the road for literally 2 weeks straight. And now you just got your duffel bag or your suitcase, you're buying clothes because there's no laundry, you're leaving stuff at the hotel. Like it's really hectic. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy, man. But it was a dope experience I was able to live.
All right. So pre-draft happens. Talk to me about draft day. Like, where were you? Like, what was that experience like? You ended up going second to Boston. What, pick number 50, 51?
51.
Boston. Like, talk to me about your draft day.
Back in Montreal. Last workout was with the Heat. Now I'm back. So draft probably June 26th, 25th, whatever it was, 24th. I was home maybe 2 days. 2-3 days before the actual draft. So, I had to go holler at my barber back then, my main barber, make sure I was cool because my brother was flying in from Vermont because he was a grad assistant there.
Okay.
And, Vermont's right there, to Montreal. So it wasn't too far. My sisters, my mom, all of my family had planned for me to just be at the crib and watch the draft as, friends and family. Yeah. And it was about, it was a good amount of people, probably like 30 people in the crib, maybe a little more. I watched the draft years and years because I had guys in the draft, like I said, Johnny, Wes, like I always watched the draft. Obviously, and you never, while you're watching the draft, you're doing a lot of stuff in between and you're not noticing how long an NBA draft actually is until you're in it. And I'm waiting for my name. And my whole thing was, I knew that Miami had to really like me during their workout, and they had the 20-something pick in the first round. Mm-hmm. And then Detroit really liked me, and they had 2 picks in the second round. So first round go by, I'm just waiting. I see Dion get picked up 4th by the Cavs. I'm like, that's what's up. Hit him up, yo, congrats. Ooh. Draft going. I'm really waiting for the 25th pick for Miami. Really, in my head, I know if there's a chance for me to go in the first,
that's where you're going. It's
going to be Miami. I see Fab Melo get picked. I'm like, oh, that's my dog. Fab, that's what's up, bro. Boom. Miami come and go. Damn. All right. So what's next? Second round. Okay, I know I got 2 joints in the second round with Detroit. First, I think they draft not Kim Minga. She must have been the second. So anyway, their first pick, or whether it was the first or second pick Detroit had in the second round, they drafted Chris Middleton. So when I heard Chris, I'm hype. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to Detroit. But it was like Chris Middleton from literally. I'm like, damn, they did me dirty. You know what I mean? Shout out to Chris Middleton, man. We had some battles, man. But so I'm like, damn. So where am I going to go? Like now, I don't know nothing. And that at that point, like, this is my first workout, matter of fact, was for the Golden State Warriors. I just remember right now. Yeah, my fault. It was gonna kill me if I didn't remember. But yeah, there you go. So I'm like, damn, where am I gonna go? I'm hitting my agent, or my agent hit me, and he's like, don't worry, you'll get drafted, bro. Like, trust me. The word around the league, trust me, bro, you'll get drafted. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm trying to stay calm, because we're 60 picks. We're at like 30 something, 38, 39. So now there's 20 something, 20 to 21 picks left. And my mom's over there looking like, okay, what's going on? Everyone's still having a good time, drinking, doing whatever we were doing. And I'm like, I don't know, I don't know. So now we're at the 40th, in the 40s. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Now we get to the 50th pick. And I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Now we're 10 picks away, and my name still hasn't been called. I don't know. And, something that I see happen very often is guys throw themselves draft parties, and they ain't even know what, like, and then you don't get drafted. That's a sick feeling. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everybody's there, and they're like, the only successful, I mean, maybe there's been more, but it's like the Fred VanVleet. I seen a clip of him telling everybody it's okay, I'll make it. Yep, and that was dope. I really respected that. Like, I love to see that. So between the 50 and the 51st pick, it was a commercial break, and my agent hit me and said, Boston has the next pick, and they're going to pick you with their 51st pick, bro. And I'm like, man, talk about a weight off your shoulder, like, just stress off your mind. And I'm trying to keep my cool, because I want everybody to enjoy the moment. And I want to hear it too on the TV. Like, I don't want to just say, hey, look, everybody, I'm getting drafted next. So, boom, Silver come on the screen, because remember, he used to call out at that point. He was doing the second rounds. You know what I'm saying? So Silver, it was Stern for the first and Silver for the second. So, boom, with the 51st pick of the NBA 2012 NBA draft, the Boston Celtics select Kris Joseph from Syracuse. I got jumped on. It started going crazy. Everybody, I'm on the couch, about 15 people on me. I can't breathe. I'm like, yo, this is nuts. But, like, I have two kids. I have my daughter and I have my son. There's nothing that beats that moment, becoming a father for the first and second time. But, like, at the time before my kids, that was the best thing that ever happened to me. Like, the best moment of my life was, carrying my name called. I think about, again, being from Montreal. I'm in the house where it all kind of started, going to the, I'm in the neighborhood where I grew up at, watching the draft, where I watched countless drafts, you know what I mean? So definitely full circle. And man, amazing feeling. You know what I mean? Like, definitely tears of joy flowing. My mom started acting up, giving everybody shots. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, mama, you acting different. You know what I mean? Giving everybody shots. She want to take a shot. I'm like, this is everybody in here. These are the people who I did it for. You know what I mean? Like, that gave me my mom, let me go to DC. She could have said no. Sure. She trusted me and went to DC. My brother gave me the blueprint. My sisters were there, supported me, friends, family. Everybody. It was dope, man, like, super dope. And so after the hoorah and all that stuff, I remember Fab called me. I remember, never forget, Fab wrote me a message. He said, yo, with like 100 O's. Yo, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I say, yo, that's crazy. I say, yo, yeah, so it was wild. Like, I'm back with my dog. You know what I mean? But then I get on the phone. So basically, like, it's crazy how fast things happen. Boom, I'm getting a text message from somebody asking me what jersey number I want. I done had me a couple of drinks. I'm like, what numbers are available? And, this is Boston, so it's like 76, 75, all the weird numbers. I'm like, damn, all right, I'll just take 43. Like, I said, all right, I'll take 43, man. That's the only normal looking number out of all the other joints that you guys got. Like, damn.
That's crazy. I mean? Yeah, they got a bunch of jerseys up there, man.
Yeah, they got a bunch of the joints retired, man. So it's like, damn, that's wild. So then, I get a call from Doc Rivers, and that was surreal, because I was like, God, like, this is my reality. Like, I just was watching you coach a few months ago, when I was in school. Now I'm on the phone with Doc Rivers. He's congratulating me, telling me to enjoy the night, and that's why I love Doc, because he's a player's coach. Like, he knows what it is. You just got drafted. He probably could hear it in my voice that I had a few, you know what I mean? Like, so he's like, you know what? Go ahead and enjoy this moment with your friends and your family. And, I'll see you in Boston in like 2 days or whatever it was for the press conference. And so, then I'm on the phone with somebody else. Okay, who do you want to bring? I need passport. I need date of birth. I'm like, damn. So obviously I bring my mom to Boston with me.
Yeah.
A couple of days later, we fly to Boston, stay in the same room. You know what I mean? Every time. So I'm going to rewind real quick. Like, anytime that I went anywhere with my mom, I'm the last of 4. You know what I mean? Like, me and my mom are like this. So even when I went on my official visit to Syracuse to Montreal is only a 4-hour drive. So she drove up, met me there, and they were like, do you want a separate room? Because, sometimes school visits, they could go a certain way. Maybe you want your little privacy, but I'm like, nah, my mom is here. Let it give us 2 doubles or whatever it is. We're staying in the same room. Like, me and my mom staying in the same room. Shout out to Mom Dukes. But yeah, we get there. We go to the press conference. Now I meet Danny Ainge. You know what I'm saying? All the guys, obviously Jared is there, Doc. I'm like, damn, I'm just looking at the history. Like, it was insane, man. Just being there. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Super dope.
All right, so kind of reach the end of everything, but I kind of just want to ask a little fun question right now.
Yeah.
So you've been at Syracuse, played with a bunch of really, really talented people over at Syracuse, like on the actual roster, and then you kind of touched on kind of playing summer league games with like Hakeem Moore being in the gym, whatever. I guess my question to kind of wrap things up for you would be like, you plus any 4 players that you ever played with, you need a squad of 5 you ever played with. You need a squad of 5. Who's your 5? So
me plus 4.
You plus 4.
So I could go league or Syracuse, or you want me to do a league and a Syracuse? Oh, okay, league or league and Syracuse. Okay.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Yo, honestly, my one
or if it's easier, you could do a league and a Syracuse, or you can just do 5. It don't matter. Whatever you want.
Okay, let me think. So if I'm going Cuse, man, I'm definitely going Johnny Flynn at my 1.
At the 1, okay.
1,000%. Dion Waiters at my 2.
The dog, yeah.
I'm at the 3. Wesley Johnson at the 4.
Yeah, he was there too. Yeah.
And then Orenzio Nwaku at Well, I didn't play with Hakeem, but I did play with him, so I might have to go Hack at the 5.
Long ass arms. Fuck.
Killer. That's killer.
Yeah.
That's a killer right there. That's a killer 5. If I'm going league, man, I'm gonna be honest. I'm going Rondo at my 1.
Okay.
I'm putting myself at the 2. Man. All right, boom. Joe Johnson at the 3. Super bucket. ISO Joe.
Crazy.
Incredible. KG. That's crazy. Hold on, let me see. Let me rewind. So I'm gonna go Paul Pierce at the 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna go ISO Joe at the 4.
And KG at the 5.
And KG at the 5.
That's crazy. You got small ball. That's crazy.
Small ball. The way it's played today, like Jay Crowder's a 4. Man. But look, Paul Pierce, like, it's crazy. We used to play 1-on-1 before every practice. I learned so much from them vets. By the time I got to Boston, of course, like KG was in year, like whatever it was at the time, 15 perhaps. Yeah. Paul Pierce around the same thing. But them guys they showed me such a level of professionalism that I carried with me from the time I got to Boston till the day, like off the court, how you present yourself, your brand, whatever it may be. Like, they showed me that. And just, people, myself included, looking at Paul Pierce's body, like, you're like, oh, this guy looks sloppy. Like, he don't work out.
Facts.
All wrong. He's the first guy in the gym. He's in the weight room. He's getting his work in before practice, because he doesn't get as many reps during, because, he's load management in a certain sense in practice. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to do all the reps, but he's getting his work in every day like clockwork. And it's just, that must just be his routine. He's been doing it for so long. So whether it's because he's doing it because mentally this is what he thinks makes him operate at optimal, level, or that's just what he wants to do. But either way, he was in the gym every day. And what I love about Boston, man, when you go into the weight room, there was a big sign on the wall in the weight room, big print that said, "What hurts more, the pain of hard work or the pain of regret?" You know what I mean? And you're like, damn, like you're right, like
that's crazy. Yeah,
get these extra reps in, like let me not. Sometimes it's easy. There's no one around. You got to do 3 sets of 10. Maybe the last one you go like 8. But you see that joint, you're like, let me do 12. Like, let me, you mean? Like, so yeah, no, them guys, KG the same way. Every day gets his work in, like clockwork, working on his little shimmy fade, working on his spots. Nothing too crazy, but just knowing yourself as a player and going to those spots. And this is where I get my shots from in the game. He's working on pick and pops right here. Boom. Come on, Kev. Going crazy, talking to himself. Like, man, that's what they showed me that. Man. So that was dope. But yeah, those are my 2 5s, my Q's 5 and my league 5.
League 5, that's dope.
Both real good 5s, man.
But yeah, man, we kind of reached the end of everything. I want to say, man, I appreciate you jumping on here with me, telling your story, talking about your journey. It's really, really dope, man. To have guys who have kind of paved the way, like I'm from Toronto, and like my OG is like Javon Shepherd, seeing him.
Shout out to Jay Shep, man.
Jay Shep, yeah. And like I'm pretty sure he's he's
still with Black Jack. Yeah,
Ottawa, yeah. So shout out to
big
him,
moves.
man. Because he's like my OG, right? So like seeing guys who kind of came before and paving the way, going to go play Big East, like big conferences, big schools, big programs, big tournaments, all that stuff. And then making it to the league and kind of telling their story, like there's people who do that are very, very few and far in between. And I want to make sure I tell you thank you for jumping on and joining with me.
I appreciate you, man. Like if there's a part 2, like that we could do at any point, you know what I mean? Like I'm here. I love talking basketball. As you can see, I got stories, I got knowledge, man. Like I appreciate you reaching out. And like it was a no-brainer for me. Like I said, being able to come out here and just talk basketball is easy.
Dope. Like I actually have Tyler Ennis coming on soon, so I'm a
shout out to T Ennis. And I remember, quick little story we were doing. So this is a year where Canada basketball didn't qualify for anything. This is a young T Ennis, and but he was trying to figure out where he wanted to go to school at, and his pops is really involved with everything that's going on. But we were at the Air Canada Center doing our Canada basketball stuff, and he was like, how is Syracuse? I'm like, yo, you gotta come to the Q's. You love it there. You know what I mean? Like, I won't say that I pushed him to go to Syracuse, but I tell you what, I definitely said all the right things, man. He did go there. He made his mark. Yeah. He went there and he did what he had to do, and he got drafted. Man, shout out to Tyler Ennis for a lot of adversity and the way he's bounced back from all the adversity that he's been through.
Yeah,
exactly. So he keeps pushing.
I'm gonna pick his mind on the Kobe.
Oh yeah,
no doubt. Sure.
No doubt.
Sure. But yeah,
looking forward to that one.
End the podcast. We got another episodes coming up. Again, we appreciate Kris Joseph coming out and joining us. You can find any of our stuff, any of our information can be on the Chat Room Podcast Instagram at the.chatroompod. And yeah, man, just look out for a bunch of cool stuff we got going on. Appreciate Kris for coming on and joining us. We had Anthony come on before. We got Tyler coming on. A lot of guys who are kind of in it. So y'all look out, and appreciate you. We out.
No, man, appreciate you. Be safe.
Be safe, man.